Hiya, and welcome back to Password, the game that teaches us that all the characters are trying to get romantic with Dave, and Dave is over here not knowing what 2 plus 2 equals. Yeah. That's happening. Yeah. Oh no! Still, we appreciate the raid, Zordy. We appreciate it, thank you. Anyways, let's just hop right in.
Let's begin with the basic explanation of the, well, I guess it'd be murder, right?
Murder? Whose?
Mine, the supposed one at least, took place here, presumably sometime during the night of the same day we explored the hedge maze.
Presumably because you're not dead?
More so because that was the reason I left here that night to go wander the woods, but yes, that too.
You didn't have to go wander the woods.
I was considering doing it anyway, but a good bit of study is hard to pass up.
Okay, so we have the location. And the murder weapon, too. Roswell and I talked about it yesterday. Haas side shooting both of us a quick look. How many times have you looked into this? Just yesterday? I'm getting the feeling that it's more than that, and now I get why Orlando was so... He threw his arms up, rolling his eyes. It was hard to tell specifically what he was getting at, but his point came across all the same.
Not even twice. Yesterday it was more a passing comment. Or at the very least, just an unwanted updated piece of information. Our first investigation didn't really get us anywhere.
Alright, but why?
What do you mean, why?
I thought back to the other day, struggling to remember the specifics of something that happened a week back. If I'm remembering right, there were a few things that didn't make sense about it based on what I saw in the vault. Just some shit. Here we go. And that was... Come on, guys. If I'm here to help, you should bring me up to speed faster than this. Alright, so... I saw Roswell laying on the ground, bleeding from the head with a book next to him. A word in it was underlined in blood, and that turned out to be the password I used to, see it. Isn't that kinda circular?
Circular? What do you mean?
So, Dave didn't know of the word when he put it into the vault, right? Then it turns out that same word appeared in the thing he saw. Roswell and I looked at each other confused. We just looked over this until now. Did either of us notice? Moving on, the murder weapon was... What? Seemed as though Haas was happy enough pressing on for more information in the meantime. In the puzzle, that was how I knew the word would have to wait. Book, right? I pointed up to the top shelf, all three of us looking up to see the heavy encyclopedias that Roswell had identified.
That was the working theory, but the book I'm guessing Dave saw wasn't one of those at all. Still, the implication was that someone bludgeoning me over the head with one.
When there's a sword over there, whoever did you in must have, I don't know, been desperate. But who'd be desperate to kill Roswell? And why? Hiya. Who knows, maybe he got too close to something someone didn't want him finding out. After all, you're in a place full of books. Maybe you found the secret to eternal life or something. Yeah, maybe.
My money is honestly more on...
Roswell stopped mid-sentence, trailing off and looking thoughtful.
Actually, you raise a good point.
The secret to immortality is in here?
No, not that. Something else. That would explain the other thing that came up during our investigation, right?
Guys, come on. I know I wasn't here last time, but at least stop playing the being vague card. If it helps, I don't really remember either.
Blunt force trauma, remember?
Oh yeah. That thing where you couldn't have underlined the word in your blood because you'd be unconscious, right?
Right, I was asking Dave about what he saw, and I concluded that the book he saw couldn't have been the murder weapon. Even if it was important. That said, without seeing the wound myself, I'm only guessing.
Well, great. Where does that leave us? Do we get to skip right to picking out a suspect? Guessing if Roswell was unconscious in this scenario, someone else would have had to underline this word for him, right? Well, sure, that makes sense, but who?
All things considered, if the murder weapon was the book, then anyone able to lift one of them fits the bill.
So, basically anyone, right?
Right.
I don't like my hair being in a ponytail. I don't like it because it's usually in a bun, so I'm just gonna pull it into a bun. It's in a ponytail right now, and I don't like it. I thought back to the vision and what we discussed the other day. Thinking back on it, the book didn't appear to be all that bloody, but you mentioned that, thing with zombies?
Evisceration? That's true. But then would fit the bill for the weapon.
There's a sword right there. I feel like you're overcomplicating things.
If you had a look at it, you'd know that the sword there is bolted in place, and that's not going anywhere quickly, especially if someone got the jump on me.
Fine then. What about an axe? I don't know, wouldn't that kind of deal a lot more damage than just caving Roswell's head in? I looked across to Roswell, immediately feeling a little guilty that we were talking about his death so casually. At the same time, I was surprised that this wasn't affecting me nearly all that much, given how nervous I was about it before.
Not necessarily. The back of the axe head could do it. It'd be a bit savage, but just as effective.
But why bother using the blunt end when the sharp end seems so much more effective? That's a good point. Would there be a reason?
There might be. It might also help narrow down the culprit, too. If you wanted to stop someone and were desperate, that could be why. Overdoing it, resulting in death, is a possibility if unlikely.
Yeah, and underlining a word in blood, that's a little extra, isn't it? What would you have done? What would have you done, Haas? Ignoring the fact you're throwing suspicion on me, the obvious thing would be to either perform first aid or get out of there.
I'd have to agree. It seems odd that you'd opt to use the blunt side of an axe when the sharp side is there. However, what made you say an axe, Haas?
Huh? Well, what other weapons would there have been? Aside from a gun, maybe? I looked between the two of them with Roswell staring at Haas with a frown. Either Haas didn't notice or didn't care. He continued anyway. Haas? You're acting a little suspicious. The place is surrounded by trees. Why wouldn't you have an axe in the greenhouse? I bet if we asked Dean, he'd probably know for sure. This is all just a guess, right? This crime never happened.
Right.
So, we're no closer to figuring out the what, but maybe the who instead?
Right. Suspects. A blow to the back of the head can mean one of two things. The first is that my guard was down around the assailant and didn't have any issues exposing my back to them, possibly knowing they were armed.
And the second?
Is that I was taken by surprise. They would have had to act fast and quietly without me turning around, so the most likely scenario was...
Roswell looked between me and Haas, taking a step back. Any reason you're playing up the theatrics?
The only ones that immediately fit the profile of people I don't keep my guard around include you two and Orlando. Understandably, Tyson would cause some alarm. I don't know Dean all that well, so I'd be somewhat careful, and Sal...
He trailed off, looking at the floor while he scratched his chin. Haas, meanwhile, sidled up to Roswell, nudging him gently. Does someone want to finish? I thought about Sal, or... Roswell huffed, staring at Haas again.
Sal just gets me curious is all. He's over a foot taller, much broader, and has some unique insights that I've only just recently discovered.
Chaos happens all the time. There's no not chaos. Fine, so Sal's under suspicion too. I'm guessing Benson is under that umbrella too?
Of course, like I said, the only people that are safely off the list for now, at least, are you, Orlando, and Dave.
Well, let's knock a few things out now. Dave is unlikely to be the culprit because he warned you, right?
Right. As much as it'd be like him to accidentally botch his own attempt at murder, I think he's in the clear.
I chuckled before realizing what he's said. The moment I went to call him out on it, though, he placed a hand carefully against my maw to keep me quiet while he continued.
For similar reasons, I don't think Orlando would be able to do it either. All things considered, I doubt he'd be able to follow through unless he was personally in danger. Which leaves us to you, Haas.
Well, fine. Guess the jig is up. Oh, well, I had a good run. Wait, really? Haas, you can't be serious, Dave. You really think I'd kill Roswell?
I don't think you could either, Haas, or rather, would.
Thanks, I feel like I should be a little more offended with how this went down, but I guess this is a win? Looking around the museum, I wondered if we had any more leads. As it stood, or at least as I understood it, we didn't have all that much in the way of leads.
This is disappointing. I thought we made some headway with this.
Sorry I can't be more help. It'd be easier if we knew who was in the room with you when this happened, obviously. Roswell looked again to Haas, thoughtful but focused. He then looked at the bookcase he had shown me the day before, leading into the study.
It's possible they were there.
He wandered over to the bookcase and tested it to see if it would open, but it didn't budge.
Dave, can you open this for me?
I gave Haas a quick look before doing as Roswell asked, feeling him watch me intently as I pulled what books I needed to and pushed the bookcase aside. What is this?
The study. On the day Dave and I came in here, I don't remember this bookcase being open. They could have been in there. They could have...
Roswell trembled and his fists clenched, but in an instant, he was back to normal. All the tension he was holding on to was let go with a sigh.
I guess there's no point in worrying about it. We can't prove anything, and this event never transpired.
Hey, it's alright, Roswell. It just means, that I was wrong, right? Yeah, Dave must have just been mistaken, so don't worry about it. Even if it was real, then, well, good thing Dave warned you, right? It was slow, but a smile returned eventually.
Right, I do have that to be thankful for.
Is there anything else we can do? Nothing else we can talk about to maybe get a few more answers? Well, I might have a few bits of info to share. Nothing major, but something that might help.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Haas. I'm not out just yet. I still have something I can share.
Who should we ask? Haas or Roswell? Time for hydration. Let's ask the bacon. Yes, the bacon. I lost my cursor for a bit. Roswell? What do you have to share?
So this room has an odd feature to it. Something that by all rights it shouldn't have.
Aside from a suit of armor?
Yes, aside from the suit of armor. I'm talking, of course, about the door.
Which one?
The one leading in here. While yes, the bookcase into the study is a bit strange, but the normal door in here is even more so.
How about? Why's that, Roswell? Seems like a normal door to me.
And it essentially is, with one key feature making it strange. The lock on the door is unlike any other in the mansion, including the strange door downstairs. This one is reinforced a lot more than even the ones to the bedrooms. Why?
Wait, did I read that right? Bedrooms? Yes. Is there something valuable in here? Knowledge, perhaps? Otherwise, I wouldn't know the actual worth of any of these display pieces.
To be honest, I wouldn't know either. It just seems like a mix of junk and mostly sentimental things, which, while cool, I don't actually hold any monetary value.
For a mansion, I assume there'd be more showy things on display, you know, like treasure or paintings or whatnot.
Right? That's what makes having a lock like that so strange. To complicate things further, the lock itself seems to be specifically one of those heavy-duty ones that require a key.
Well, that doesn't require a key, Roswell. That should be a no-brainer.
That's not what I'm getting at. This lock is one of those old ones. Would require a very sturdy key, not something like a standard house key or anything. It's just gone mostly by the wayside because the door has been open most of the time.
Okay, so who has the key?
My guess would be Benson. Not that it really matters, but hypothetically, if you wanted to, you could easily trap someone inside.
Or keep someone out, right? Haas, you're acting very suspicious.
True, but as far as I can tell, there's no other way in or out of this room. So you'd be stuck otherwise.
But is this useful for killing someone?
Maybe not for killing someone, but detaining the culprit is potentially. It's for sure one room you can't possibly break out of without that key, or maybe if you had enough weight to just bust down the door.
Okay, we'll ask Haas. Haas, what have you got? It might not be important, but have you guys noticed the devices in this room?
What devices?
I thought so. This room has a camera and a microphone. Or at least one that isn't immediately hidden. I looked to Roswell and he just shrugged. Together we turned to Haas and gave him a confused look. So the moment you entered the room, you're on camera. There are plenty of blind spots, but for one it looks like it's pointed at the door.
But why?
Who knows? This is even assuming it's even on. There's no telling if it's active from what we can see, given it's set into the ceiling. He pointed to a spot high above, making me squint to make out a small dome installed in the ceiling. Wait, is that thing up there a camera? Yep. Fairly standard home security model from what I can tell.
Well, that's one. You said devices as in plural, right? What about the other?
Now this one I know a bit more about. There are a couple of omnidirectional microphones installed in here set into the walls.
Microphones?
How many? Which walls? I've only seen a couple and chances are they aren't all that strong given where they're installed, but it's still strange, right?
Now that you mention it, a camera might make sense, but microphones? There's only a couple reasons I could think of that would make you want microphones sneakily installed in your own house.
Karaoke? Dave, you're lucky you're cute. I looked to Haas expectantly, a broad grin on my face, confident in my answer. Yeah, I never changed, Dave. Singing? In here? Not the best acoustics, but if you were a fairy tale princess singing about something, I'm sure you could make it work.
Think more like covert spying on people. Not legally, mind you, but houses like this, or really any big buildings belonging to wealthy families where the rich talk secrets, is a good place to gather blackmail material.
Blackmail? But who would do that? That's something only organized crime would do, right?
Exactly. I'm sure you've noticed it, Haas. The soundproofing kind of plays into that a bit too, right?
I had noticed, but I wasn't sure if that was the reason. Guess if both of us were thinking it, though, maybe that's more likely than I thought. Haas stretched, running his hands through his mane. Well, that was fun. What are you going to do now? Wait, we're done?
I think we might be. There really isn't anything more we can go off of. Just in as much as we're getting closer, we just can't solve something we have no first-hand knowledge of. If we were looking at this from an outside perspective, it'd be a little bit easier. But even then, I doubt we'd be able to solve everything. Chances are we'd end up making an assumption somewhere and making things worse.
What, like if we were gods? Somehow I don't think that's what he meant.
Maybe not gods, but if we could speak to the version of you that lived through that experience, Dave, then maybe we'd have more to go off. Even my ghost, but that'd require me dead. And believe me when I say that I don't foresee that happening anytime soon.
Who wants to tell him? Who wants to tell him? Anyone want to tell him? Anyone at least going to tell the Yeen? No? Okay.
Anytime soon.
Well, that's good, I guess.
If what you saw was real, Dave, then you saved me once already. You should have no problems doing it again if the need arises.
Well, you guys have fun. I think my work here is done. See you guys at lunch. He was out the door before Roswell and I could really say anything. Lunch was still a while away, but I wasn't going to turn down some time alone with Roswell. Hey, Roswell?
What's wrong?
Can we talk more about last night?
Which part?
Well, I guess I want to apologize if I was a bit of a downer, plus something else.
Well, us hanging out like that was to help you not be a downer. I went into that knowing what you'd be like, but knowing that's what you'd be like potentially. I think I already know of the other thing.
You do, but how?
I have my ways. This is about the love thing, right?
Right. I'm sorry that I didn't know if. He put a hand on my arm, flashing me a smile.
No pressure. I said not expecting anything back. If you do feel something back, then great. But I expect you to tell me, or when you're ready.
I chuckled, although it quickly became a defeated whine.
Hey, cheer up, Dave. No need to worry about it. I mean, if the time comes, then great. And if it doesn't, then that's great too. But for now, why don't we go do something less morbid?
Roswell led the way out of the museum and towards the rec room. I didn't expect him to pull out a video game, but the two of us struggled playing co-op in something we'd never heard of. Before we knew it, though, it was time for lunch. Roswell died in the museum from a head wound. We didn't really learn all that much compared to the last time we looked into it, but there were a few neat things. Primarily the study and that the culprit might have been in there. Not that we know for certain, but it was a possibility. We didn't know much about a weapon, however. Left me scratching my head. I saved him by sending him out into the woods, so why was he killed in the museum in the first place? Was there something there? Every time we'd been there since, it hadn't been an issue. And I'd even spent some time in there alone. As I ran through the suspects in my head, I looked at each of my friends in turn. Ross seemed to be certain about his assessment of the people here, which put me at ease somewhat. But someone had to have done it, right? Oh, hi, Sal. I wandered through the house for a bit with my thoughts. There really wasn't much I could do, nor had I planned anything for the rest of the afternoon. I could go see what Orlando was doing, or watch something with Haas, or even go see what Dean was doing. Chances are he'd be in the greenhouse, but I'd only really just come back inside. But then I found myself going downstairs. I entered an all-too-familiar room and stared at the door on the opposite wall. Eyes flicking to the keypad briefly. This thing right here was the source of all this trouble. Part of me wondered if this thing didn't exist, what would have happened? Would Roswell have still died? Taking a few more steps towards the door, I reached out for the keypad, thinking it over. The air in the room seemed to vibrate slightly, and while I couldn't smell anything in particular, I couldn't see anything to be causing the vibrations either. Hello? Is anyone there? Silence. Beyond the faint hum of the house, nothing came from nearby. Turning back towards the door, I wondered what was on the other side. The door that was upstairs in the library looked the same, but Oswin came from behind it. Was there a passage behind this one too, or just a single room? After all, he appeared and left through that door in the library, so chances were that the door led somewhere else in the mansion, right? Left behind, shaking my head, part of me wondered if I was overthinking things, or if I was diving too far into the deep end of this investigation. As I trudged up into the foyer again, I bumped into Roswell, who quickly held onto my arms and flashed me a smile.
I'd wonder where you had gotten to. Come on, let's go do something.
Wait, what? Do what now?
Not interested? I could go see if Orlando was free instead. It's no trouble.
No, I'm up for doing something. What did you have in mind? My whole afternoon is free, so...
Oh, I didn't have anything in particular planned. But if you're up for helping me practice some magic...
Sure, so long as there are no saws involved, that should be fine.
Great! Come on, then.
Roswell led the way upstairs and gestured for me to sit on the bed. As I sat down, I watched him rummage through his bag, then a couple piles of clothes, picking up bits and pieces as he went. You haven't cleaned up your room yet?
Nope.
But why?
Why bother? This is my room. I don't need to clean it up for anyone but myself, and I know where everything is anyway.
Which is why you're still searching for whatever it is that you're searching for? Roswell huffed, shooting me a sour look before retrieving one last thing and joining me on the bed.
Remember you did agree to help me practice.
Well, yeah, so long as there were no saws. He gestured for me to hold out my hands and started tying them together with the flashy red rope. Cool. What trick is this? See, the magic trick is called BDSM. Wait, what?
You'll see. Just hold still.
He continued binding my arms together before placing a magic wand on the bed beside me.
Okay, so this one is a little advanced, but I'm going to try and levitate the wand and cast a spell through it to undo your bindings.
So, you're graduating from small tricks to proper magic.
I've been practicing. You can't tell me that you think that all I'm studying is just academia. I have not been neglecting my occult studies as well.
Bacon wants to explore Yeen's body. Oh, is this where you pull out the board thing? The Woogie board?
Ouija board and... No, well, yes, but not this time.
So, how are you going to do the magic? Is there a spell? Do you just... I tugged lightly on the rope, trying to see if I could pull myself free with little success. I didn't realize you knew how to tie such good knots, Roswell.
It takes some practice, but you can get pretty good. Spend enough time alone with just a piece of string, and that's all you really need.
And this happens often?
Taking a break from studying to do something with your hands lets your mind relax sometimes. Trust me that I've done plenty of studying, and, well, with that comes a lot of time alone.
Isn't that kind of lonely?
A little. But it's worth it. For everything it leads to, everything that all this studying is for, I like to think that it'll pay off someday.
But what are you studying for?
Any number of things, really. Probably not medicine, but there's plenty of other things I could get into.
Including untying me? I don't think your spell is really working.
It would if you'd just give me a chance to actually do the magic.
Hiya. So, Roswell might have a BDSM kink. Wait, what? I don't think I'm allowed to say that, but I'm saying it anyway.
Actually do the magic?
I spent the better part of the afternoon with my hands tied together while Roswell tried to perform his trick. It wasn't nearly as good as his card trick from earlier, but it wasn't so bad. Kind of funny trying to watch him levitate the wand with his mind, and it was broken up with enough idle chatter to make it less boring. Eventually we had to give up, and he untied me so we could head on down for dinner. Aww, sad. Osmond said that the vault worked through trauma. What if it's Sal? Is there a pattern? Yes. And I already forgot the password. Time to check Discord. Oh yeah, thank you, Damien, for making that list. Seriously, thank you for making that list. It was extremely fucking useful. It's extremely useful. Alrighty. Because I had already forgotten the password. And we are now on path A. Damien is the real MVP. Hang on. Turning on the video capture. Alrighty. Just real quick. Damien is the MVP. Just round of applause. Nah, don't worry about pinging the list, because I got it pinned on the Discord server. I fell back on my bed with a sigh, scratching my belly. It was about time I took a shower and freshened up. As the water washed over me, I felt stiff in my wrists from where Roswell had tied me up. Even as I massaged them, it took a bit to get them feeling normal. It was a wonder that I got through dinner without feeling it sooner. Sighing out as I let the hot water run over my head and seep into my fur, I started to feel a little better about where things had ended up. When I was done, then came blow drying. With a towel around my waist, I dried myself off while I continued to think things over. I was quickly interrupted when I heard someone wandering around my room. Roswell!
Hello.
What are you doing here?
Just checking in.
What's wrong? You seem... I don't know. I'm guessing something's wrong?
Nothing major, really. I just sound upset while he was talking with Dean, so I don't know. Something made me want to check in with you.
But why me? I mean, sure, that's probably my fault, but still.
And here you are asking me what's wrong? What did you do to Sal?
Okay. Oh, it's, vault related?
What did you do? What happened?
I did it. I went to the vault and got it working again. I saw Sal, and, well, I guess telling him didn't go so well.
You told him? Jeez, I hope he's alright. But if you're doing what you think is right, I'm sure it'll turn out fine.
You think so?
Of course, given the alternative, there really wasn't an option here. Right?
I guess so.
If it makes you feel any better, just make an effort to talk to him about it tomorrow. But you're not going to get very far thinking about it now.
Dean said he had it handled anyway, so I guess so. I'm still allowed to feel bad about it, though, right?
Oh, absolutely, but don't let it consume you.
I'll try.
Good thing I'm here to keep you company tonight, though.
Wait, really?
Yep, I could spend the night on my own bed if you prefer, but I liked last night. I wouldn't mind doing it again.
I chuckled, shaking my head. Yeah, okay, you win. I wandered on over, hit the light, and in the dark changed into some fresh underwear while facing away from the bed. When I turned back around, Roswell was right under the covers, mostly under the blanket, but still getting comfortable.
Come on, Dave, bedtime.
I wandered over and got into the bed beside him. No sooner had I done so, Roswell and I rolled over to face one another.
Your bed is a lot comfier than mine. I reckon I'll sleep well tonight.
They're the same bed, aren't they? Though if I'm being honest, I don't remember much after the sugar crash.
Well, there's a lot less crumbs for starters.
That's entirely on you, though. If you didn't snack so much in bed, you wouldn't have this problem.
Reckon I could ask Benson to deal with it for me.
Maybe, although I don't know how well that'd go down if you ask him that every day.
You've got a point there.
Roswell rolled onto his back, staring at the ceiling. Is it time for sleep?
Not just yet. Let me just enjoy this for a little while longer.
Just laying in bed?
Yeah. To be honest, it's going to suck when we all move away to do our own thing, you know? You might go off and do something. I'll go study something in a good school. Orlando will open his bakery somewhere. Haas will make it big somewhere else. So the little things like this are moments we're not going to get again.
I guess so. I guess that part of me really hasn't sunk in yet.
Really? Not even a little?
I guess I'm still hoping that when this month is over, we can all go home and then in a couple days do it all again by having pizza.
Pizza? Is that your go-to for feeding a bunch of people?
It doesn't really matter to me what we eat or what we do, but if it's together, I think that'd be cool.
And what if one of us couldn't go? Would it still be worth it?
Well, it'd suck, I guess, that whoever can't come is missing out, but I guess that's just how things are sometimes.
Right.
He gestured with his hands while he spoke, flourishing his statement by giving me a broad grin.
But we can make up for it with snacks. Or we can have them there in spirit somehow, right? No matter how far any of us may go, we're still going to be friends.
Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell him? I gave him a wry smile, holding back a chuckle. Even Tyson?
Well, yeah, even Tyson.
I hadn't expected that, and I did a double take, somewhat confused.
It's strange, right? The person I see now wasn't the same person I saw back then. I know that, but being around him still gives me that fight or flight response that just makes me want to see what's familiar.
It'll be a pill-induced chocolate cake. What? Hang on, let me scoot in. Just my chair. There we go. It's only been half an hour. Wait.
A fight or flight response that just makes me want to see what's familiar.
But isn't that unfair? People can change.
Right. But it's more than that. That familiarity is comforting. It's safe if you know what to expect. It makes things less terrifying, if that makes sense. But this guy is a stranger that carries all of these flinch reactions I have towards the Tyson I remember. But if he's as good as you say he is, then, well...
You'll give him a chance?
One, maybe. I'm still deciding, but possibly.
He yawned, setting me off as well.
Hey, I'm getting kinda tired, so... Do you think it'd be alright if we cuddled?
Oh, yeah, I'm always down for cuddling.
Thanks, I'm a little cold is all.
He shuffled in closer and we got comfortable. Me resting my head atop his and him snuffling around against the fur on my chest. I gently scratched and rubbed his shoulders until he was asleep, snoring softly against me, and before long I was out like a light too. And we are on path A. Yay! Hammond Manor, a bed that I was for the most part slowly becoming used to. Roswell was snoring contentedly next to me, half scratching his belly in his sleep. Oh, hi, Oswin. We try to bitch slap Benson. Roswell hurried on over and sat down next to me, almost as energetic as he was the day before. Haas, on the other hand, lingered on nearby, still fixing his mane.
Did you sleep well, Dave?
Sure, I guess. You don't seem so sure of that.
I didn't keep you up, did I?
No, you were fine. I just had a bit on my mind is all. Maybe you should go back to bed? I wouldn't blame you given how I'm considering it. Nah, I need it for something else. Huh? For what? Just trying to corral your two favorite people together for some friendly, well, let's just say I'm going to force them to play nice. You're not going to make them wear some sort of oversized shirt, are you? I might if they force my hand. What? How in the ever-loving fuck did Viagra come into the conversation? I'm not mad. If you think I'm mad about that, I'm not. I'm more impressed than anything else. Like, I am genuinely curious how it came up. I am genuinely curious how it came up. I might if they force my hand. Let's start getting them to play a game together. A game? What kind of game? Pity party? Oh, okay. They're just going to fight Haas. Oh, they're not going to fight. They're going to get along, or so help me, or I'll do something drastic. Just beat their ass. Wait, no, Tyson might like that. Damn it. Like the shirt? Haas shook his head, sighing out. Before he could comment any further, Dean looked around. Sorry to dash like this, but Sal's giving Orlando a swimming lesson, Dave. I would have asked you if you want to come, but you want to come join, but I'm going to make sure he has an extra set of hands. Fucking right. Like, okay. I think I say some of the most fucked up shit. I think I say some very out of pocket shit. I think I have a somewhat creative mind. And then Amethyst says something, and I'm just like, well, shit. It's gotten to the point, like, and I'm not hurting your mind. If anything, I'm complimenting it. I am complimenting your mind. I genuinely wish I was half as creative as your head. Oh, okay. With a half wave, Dean hurried along out of the dining room, leaving me with Haas. Well, time to go. Go where? He didn't answer, instead dragging me up and out of my chair to lead me out of the dining room. When we got to the rec room, Tyson and Roswell were standing awkwardly in the room, half acknowledging the other was there. Excellent, we're all here. Yeah, I guess.
Not that I, mind, but why?
He shot Tyson a quick look, uncertain, but he shrugged back, equally confused. Now that Dave is here and turns out he wasn't doing anything, we're going to make you two get along. What?
That's not necessary, is it?
Really? If it were up to you two, you'd be all... He gestured over his head, loosely rolling his eyes. Not only that, but Tyson's a swell guy and could use more friends. Fuck off, I don't need any more friends. You kinda do, Ty. I'm managing fine. Oh, sure, you're doing fine before you discovered anime with your many friends. I half expected Tyson to make some sort of annoyed remark at Haas the moment he spoke, or even when he threw an arm over his shoulder. Instead, he just grumbled something under his breath and looked away.
That's, something?
Not that I don't mind Roswell being here, but, because it's time to bury the hatchet or settle old feuds. Someone's gotta look out for Big Dog here. Big Dog? Fuck off, I'm a wolf. Haas rolled his eyes, shrugging. And me the big bad wolf for all I care.
You're not telling me that you expect me to look out for him, do you?
Nope, that's my job or something like that anyway. Something that not just anime can solve given what you like and what he likes seems to be different. So, what? We're going to go get food? We all like food.
Oh, if we're doing food, then we should have grabbed Orlando, right? Unless it's just eating, then perhaps Dean.
Yeah, sure, you snack gremlin, you.
Well, fine. If we're going to do food, then I'll just go get some snacks and we can do this.
Not so fast, I have a better idea. Better than snacks?
I know, right?
Don't really know what snacks I like. That gonna matter? I chuckled, nervous, unsure of what was going to happen or if he and Roswell had any common ground. Nope, because we're not doing any anime or snacks today. At least not as the main activity. I yawned, stretching before looking at the three of them. What is the main activity? Board games! This early? Before lunch?
I'd have to agree. I don't think I've ever played a board game before lunch. Normally it's, waking up time.
Right? Or like, if it's just a game, just turn on the TV or pull out a deck of cards. I saw Roswell's face light up and I quickly looked to Haas, alarmed.
Cards, huh? Didn't know you like to play cards, Tyson.
Got that out. Reason we're not playing cards is because you cheat.
I do not cheat.
That's not what I heard from Orlando. Maybe he's just magic.
I would have gone with luck, but magic is equally likely.
Tyson and Haas looked at one another briefly before turning to Roswell and speaking in unison. Bullshit. Anyway, it's not a problem because we're not playing cards. What are we playing? You said a board game, but there's a lot of board games to choose from, Haya. Doesn't bother me. Beats working out all morning anyway. Great, so without further ado, let me just go get that game. Oh, fuck, it's going to be Monopoly. They're going to be playing Monopoly. I'll be right back. I watched as Haas wandered over to the cupboard and started to peruse the games before looking to Tyson and Roswell. So, the two of them seemed to be minding their own business, looking at me the moment I spoke. Games, huh? Yup. Just assumed we'd be watching more anime.
Same. It's mostly of what Haas goes on about, that and healthy living.
Roswell shuddered, sticking out his tongue at the prospect.
Suckered me in with the prospect of doing something fun.
Did he explain to either of you what was going on beforehand, or both of them just shook their heads, glancing at each other quickly?
If I had to guess.
Kept it from us so we wouldn't bail?
Right. Cards on the table, I probably would have.
Not alone there. But you're both here, so I guess it's just time to get along. Couldn't have said it better myself. Haas put an arm over my shoulder while he carried a box in his free hand, rattling it gently. Come on, let's get to gaming. We settled in around a table with the box sitting between us.
So.
What game are we playing? I looked at the box, chuckling nervously. Mousetrap.
Not the most team-building exercise, but sure that works.
We can play a round of this and then, I don't know, go from there. Can we play, I don't know, video game?
If the goal is to make friends, then, I don't know, he's got a point. Should have at least planned for something more collaborative.
Maybe we could try the chef game Orlando likes. We'll deal with that afterwards. However, He gestured to Roswell and Tyson quickly. You two are going to have a little bit of a handicap. Why the fuck would we have a handicap?
Yeah, that doesn't seem fair.
Well, how about this then? If you don't want the handicap, then how about you say something nice about one another? The hell? Who made you the boss? There was no reply, but I noticed Roswell and Tyson looking my way. That's when I noticed Ross gesturing at me with a thumb. Wait, what? I didn't say anything! I mean, if you don't think you two can get along, then by all means, play with the handicap.
You literally do not have the power to enforce this handicap.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Roswell. After all, I think Dave here would love for you two to get on. Or you could make him sad, either way. This is going to go so horribly. My eyes started from Haas to the other two who were shifting uncomfortably, looking at each other while occasionally stealing looks at me. What's the handicap? Lack of hesitation.
Really? You're not going to try?
Are you going to try? Roswell breathed in deep, rubbing his nose.
Okay, I can do this. Tyson, I like how you can keep Dave calm when he's freaking out.
That's a start, but maybe try something not involving Dave. Why are you trying to force us anyway? Can't we just, I don't know, play this game on hard mode? Because fuck, if it's against you two, you'd probably need the advantage. I'm not that bad at games. I looked to Roswell, who seemed determined about something, thinking his words over carefully.
I'm trying to be better. I need to be better.
Tyson rolled his eyes, scratching his head. Don't go hurting yourself. God, would you look at yourselves? You're so similar, it's uncanny. What? My voice cracked. What? Oh yeah, you two are a lot more alike than you realize. Probably why you don't get on. Really? I don't see it. Neither.
Same.
Well, I've known Roswell a bit longer than you, Tyson, but you're not too hard to figure out. What's that meant to mean? And maybe you could afford to chill out just a little. Roswell has stuff that drives him and that he's sensitive about. You do too, but you both let your guard down around certain people. Once again, I felt eyes on me. So about that handicap? Yeah, my voice cracked. My voice cracked. The fuck? Gonna hydrate. Hydration is important. Gurley is flabbergasted. So about that handicap. Come on, Ty. Try for me. Tyson grumbled but didn't say anything, sitting back in his chair and keeping his arms folded over his chest.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time
Maybe
to drink
if you
water.
treat this like a game too, Tyson?
It's time to drink water.
What do you mean?
You like games, right? Which means you probably like winning. Just see the game as like proving Haas wrong or something.
A little spiteful, but sure, I guess that works. While they talked, I started pulling things out of the box, looking at each of the pieces and looking for the rule book.
For example, Tyson, I like how confident you are.
Confident? Sure, I guess that works.
You at least come across that way, maybe a little cocksure, but nowhere near as bad as Haas.
I'm right here, Roswell. Well, thanks, I guess. Oh my god! The girlie is smiling! The scrunkly!
You're very welcome.
It was nice seeing these two interact without being at each other's throats, but something was missing. First I thought it was lack of immediate reply from Tyson, but as I thought about it, it was something else. Something I felt off. Nah, that's Cards Against Humanity. Maybe it was lack of familiarity, but they'd apologize to one another, right? This was good. But what if it wasn't? Was breaking what I used what I was used to really all that good. I valued that consistency, but I've been giving that up by messing with the vault, intervening where normally I would have just let things play out. Was Roswell noticing what was happening? He seemed to notice things like this, but he changed the most of everyone over the past few days. Let whatever happens happen. Let them die. The voice in my head confused me. Let them grow as people, but also let them die? Was the only way to stop them from dying to keep them the same? Dave, come on, buddy, snap out of it. Huh? What happened? Notice you were zoned out, everything good? I looked at the three of them. Much like at breakfast, I was faced with the expressions of worry and concern. I guess so. Bullshit. What was it that I said I liked about Roswell? Oh, I looked quickly at Roswell, looking him over with my brow furrowed. His clothes? Not even close, buddy. You need more sleep, or... I'm fine. The words even felt hollow as they came out of my mouth. A flinch reaction more than anything else. You don't sound fine. Roswell, you're the smart one. You know what's up? Roswell puffed out his chest, scratching his chin as he locked eyes with me, seemingly trying to figure me out like a puzzle.
Normally I'd say fatigue, but something's different. Very peculiar.
Wow, great insight there.
Well, go on then. What's your guess?
Now it was Tyson's turn to stare me down, and I looked away, not wanting to meet his eye. Could be a couple things, don't know for sure, though. And here you two were shocked that you two weren't similar. Well, you tried, see how you do. Guys, can we just not do this? I gestured to the game in front of us. Even Tyson and Roswell are getting on, Haas. This is what you wanted, right?
But what did you want, Dave?
Me? Yeah, you're always in on what everyone else wants. What do you want for a change? I looked at each of them in turn as I sat back, really wondering what something I wanted was. For the most part, I wasn't ever left wanting, so it was a hard thing to think of on the spot. I lingered a little longer on Roswell, who just watched me with a calm but somewhat happy smile. Was he just being carefree, or was it that he was just so certain of himself that I envied? Bouncy, bouncy, happy bouncy. Lovin', this sensation, always going my way, hearts a poundin' situation. I don't know that song. I don't know.
Come on, you can do better than that. Did you want a snack? I could get you something sweet to perk you up if you want.
If it were bedtime, he'd want to sleep with someone and get some cuddling in. It could just be that he wants to be doing something rather than just stuck all day. That said, talking is always good. Yeah, I know you love talking already.
Oh, someone already been on the receiving end of one of Haas's anime rants? Just wait until he gets you to pick out your first waifu.
That's never happening. First of all, yes, it is happening. Second, we're getting off track. Focus on Dave. Tyson and Roswell laughed to themselves as Haas grumbled. It didn't go further than that, and we started playing our game. Of course, Roswell won, and Tyson called it bullshit anyway. They seemed to have fun, much to Haas's relief. Ty already picked his waifu when it's Dave. Yeah, that is very true. Much to Haas's relief. From there, we moved on to video games, and after the third time of Tyson stealing some sort of star thing from Roswell, we stopped in a huff when Haas snuck out a victory. Did I call him Haas or Sauce? Damn it. This was nice, but the thought of what I really wanted lingered. Was it simply to have a good vacation, to keep everyone alive, to have them be friends? Or was I just wanting to be left alone? Sauce, damn it! Hey, Vsauce, Haas here. You already know what came to mind, Amethyst, so go ahead and bring it up. Go ahead and bring it up. You already know what came to mind. You know exactly what came to mind. So just go ahead and bring it up. Damn it! Yeah, you know exactly what it is. Remember? Tennis Ace? The Discord link is down in the description. Tennis Ace. Yep. Music Rum Club. Again! If you think we have beef over that, we don't. We really don't. Yeah, that's it. Music Rum Club. That's it. That came to mind. I remembered it existed. Or was it just wanting to be left alone? Bullshit, we're going again.
What? Mad that you lost again?
Guys, maybe chill a bit? Hell no! I had checked out for a while, but as the score screen flashed up on the screen, it seemed as though they were even enough with Roswell 1 point ahead. Oh, well, fighting in a game is better than in person, right? Roswell glanced at me doing a double take.
Alright, one more for keeps.
You're on! He winked at me, taking up the controller and facing the screen while Tyson was navigating the menu for the next round. Haas threw up his hands, slumping back into the beanbag he was sitting in before looking at his phone. Following suit, I sat down my own controller and got comfortable, occasionally stealing glances at Haas while he monitored the other two. Eventually got up and started to wander off. Where are you going? Bearing the next activity. These two have stuff to work out. I tilted my head, watching as Haas wandered off. On the screen, though, colors flashed and stuff moved around while they did something I'd stopped following a while back. Roswell was calm and composed as he pressed buttons, while Ty furiously pressed buttons. They both normally played games this way, although the type of games were very different. But I noticed something that Roswell was doing, or rather, not doing. My fucking mic was muted. Damn it. Occasionally, he'd miss the buttons or pretend to press things for the sake of appearances. Was he throwing the game? Not that it lasted much longer, as sure enough, the game declared Ty the winner. Much to his surprise.
Good game, Tyson.
Ha! Take that, you porky fuck! Tyson! Sorry.
I meant it. Good game.
Ty looked at the screen and saw that the scores were now tied. He looked thoughtful about something. He didn't seem to know how to respond to that, instead mumbling something under his breath and awkwardly scratched his face. No problem. Done now? Yeah, I think they're done. Good, because we're watching anime now. No more games? I mean, sure, I guess we can watch anime.
I guess that's fine, but, can we have a break first?
Actually, yeah, break first, anime after. Maybe Haas was onto something about them being similar. Why do I get the impression that if we have a break now, neither of you are coming back? Fuck off, I'll come back. I still want to see more of that stuff, you know, with the punching. Roswell shifted in his beanbag, brow furrowed.
Can I get back to you on that? It's probably about time for lunch anyway, right?
Oh, yeah, probably. Haas shrugged and sighed out, shaking his head. Fine, lunch first, anime after. Sound good? We headed downstairs together with Tyson seemingly in good spirits as he chatted with Haas about what they were going to be watching. However, Roswell was quiet, walking along beside me but pulling me aside when we hit the bottom of the stairs. He led me into a side room. If anything, it just looked like a nice place to sit in the morning with a cup of coffee. Something like a lounge room.
So,
everything alright?
I should be asking you that question. Seeing Tyson and I nod at each other's throats, I assumed would have made you thrilled.
Oh, I am.
Well, you're not very expressive about it. Maybe there's just another thing that's changed.
He grumbled, scratching his chin.
Was it overkill letting him win? I figured I'd take a page from Haas's book and try and make it look convincing.
You really didn't need to let him win, you know.
Given how he acted, he's not a gracious winner, though.
I guess that's true. I don't know. I never really think about it.
Promise that this isn't about me and Tyson, though?
Promise. Nothing to do with you two. He stared at me, half bewildered as he tried to find the words.
Then what's got you in a slump? I wasn't the only one that noticed you zoning out. This is almost as bad as when...
He trailed off, searching my face for any change in my expression. The only thing he got was a faintest of wry smiles as I tipped him off that he was right.
Still? It's affecting you that much even now?
How could it? How couldn't it? He was my dad.
Well, yes, I know, but I thought that after being here for a solid week, something would have made things, I don't know, easier for you?
Well, sorry, but it's not that simple.
Then help me understand. I'm trying, Dave. I'm really trying, but I can't do anything if you shut me out.
Hey, yo! Also, hiya. He seems genuinely sad. There's nothing I can do, though. He's dead, and I just have to go on living. I mean, it's nice and all that you're all getting along. That's one less thing that's stressing me out, but... Roswell scratched his cheek, readjusting how his bandana sat around his neck.
This is the only thing bothering you, though, surely.
No, it's not. There's the whole vault thing and messing with it, and...
You've been messing with it more without me? Or is this the thing that happened with Sal last night?
Well...
That's a yes to the Sal thing.
What did you expect me to do? Just forget about it?
No, but I expect that you know better than to just not talk to anyone about your issues if they're happening. If not me, someone like Orlando, Haas, Dean, hell, even Tyson would be better than no one.
He rubbed his head, sighing out.
Is this one of those times where you need some space?
No, but I don't know. Everything's just so... Just give up, Dave. Let whatever happens happen.
Dave, you kind of just trailed off there, looking like you were shell-shocked or something.
Huh?
Well, alright, but what about talking about it? Would that help?
What's there to say? That I just want to go home?
No! You can't think about, like, all the fun you'd be missing out on. Oh, who am I kidding? There's been some vacation for you, huh? Spent a good deal of it sleeping and moping about the place.
Not that it's your fault entirely, Roswell.
Yeah, I know my part in that, but still. There's only so much I can do, Dave. Even less if you're not telling me what's working and what isn't.
I sighed, fiddling with my hands, unsure. What if we did more of what we did the other night?
With the snack food? I mean, we could, but eating your troubles away isn't really a good thing. I'm bad enough about that as it is.
Well, not that, but what about just hanging out?
I'm not going to say no, but this feels a lot like you running away from your problems.
And if I promise I'm not?
Then I guess that's fine. I don't like hanging out with you, but I want to do right by you first. If what you need is someone to hang out with, then I'm all game.
I breathed a sigh of relief, finding one less thing to worry about.
But before that, let's have some lunch.
He led me out of the sitting room by the hand, across the foyer and into the dining room. From there, the kitchen, where we passed Haas and Tyson heading back with sandwiches in hand. With our own sandwiches made and in hand, we headed out. Passing the other three as they came inside from the pool. We're going to leave off here tonight. Day 11, Path A. We are only doing Path A for all the routes now. For all the routes, we are only doing Path A. They have no nippies, though. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow. It's not the nippies.